We are studying chapter number 6 of Science 2, which is animal classification. Today we will try complete all the theory, the remaining theory of this chapter. So in that context, we will focus on one phylum, Chordata, and its one subphylum, which is Vertebrata. Remember, in this chapter, we are studying about animal kingdom, in which all the multicellular organisms are grouped together in the five kingdom classification system given by Robert Whittaker. We have already understood why classification is required, how the classification is evolved, what criteria are used to classify animals in the five kingdom classification, and we have looked at the phyla that are part of this kingdom. So last phyla we will focus on today, which is Chordata, and in that subphyla, last subphyla, Vertebrata. Last phylum, last subphylum. So we will look at Vertebrata subphylum, which is part of the Chordata phylum, and we will look at all the details of that classification. Once again, a lot of information. No information is too complicated. There will be some new words, there will be some old words, and there will be some new meanings to the old words. We will need our dictionaries also, and of course, annotate as much as you want on the text. How are we going to conduct this session? Of course, we will have a quick revision of phylum Chordata. Then we will study the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata, which is also called, and then we will look at more questions. Let us start with the revision of phylum Chordata. So those who were present in the last Science 2 class, or those who watched the recording of the last Science 2 class, you would that the last phylum of the kingdom Animalia is Chordata, and the main characteristics, the four main characteristics of this phylum are that organisms of this phylum all have a notochord in some shape or form at some stage of their lives. That's one. Second, all these animals have pharyngeal gill slits in some shape or form at some stage of their lives. All of them have a single tubular spinal cord. So not just the notochord. Notochord is the outer covering which protects the inner spinal cord. And it is present on the dorsal side, teeth valley side. And all of them have at least one heart. Mark my words, I'm saying all of them have at least one heart. So yes, there are organisms in which we count more than one. And this heart, in case of the animals belonging to the phylum Chordata, they are located on the ventral side of the body. Ventral means samne wale side, pet wale side. Dorsal, ventral. And this phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla. Phylum is singular, phyla is plural. The first subphylum is Urochordata. Very important here is the body is covered by a skin-like thing. And also they have a life cycle where they start as larvae and then they metamorphose, they change into adults. Skin and metamorphosis. These are the main characteristics of Urochordata. And they are called Urochordata because notochord is present only in the tail region of the larva. जब वो लार्वा स्टेज में होते हैं तो उनका जो नोटोकॉर्ड होता है हेड से टेल तक नहीं होता है, सिर्फ टेल रीजन में होता है. टेल यूरो chordata, Urochordata. For all these different classifications that we are studying, whether it is kingdom or phylum or subphylum, or now today we will look at class, we will need to know the characteristics, we will also need to know examples. Right? And you would have realized by now that the pronunciations are not very intuitive and the spellings are difficult. And that is happening because most of these words are derived from Latin. So we will need to put in more time and effort to get these things right. The subphylum, the second subphylum of this phylum Chordata is called Cephalochordata. They are small, they are fish-like, and they are marine. And their notochord is present throughout the body, from the head to the tail. Most important feature here is they have a large pharynx with gill slits. Ye wala portion. This is the most important visible characteristic. And the third subphylum of the phylum Chordata is Vertebrata or Craniata. If we understand the words, if we understand the names, then characteristics become very easy. Vertebrata means they have a vertebral column. What is vertebral column? This is just another form of the notochord. Notochord transforms into a vertebral column in these animals. Craniata, this word comes from the word cranium. Cranium is the skull, the bone structure which is our head, that is cranium. And it protects the brain. We have big brain. The animals of this phylum, they have proper brains, and it is protected because brain is made of soft tissue. It is protected by hard tissue, which is bone. There is an endoskeleton. Skeleton अब बाहर नहीं, अब अंदर में भी है, cartilage and bone. Some are jawless, माने जबड़े नहीं होते उनके, and some do have jaw. This is what we studied about the phylum Chordata and three subphyla, Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata Craniata in the last class. In the last class, I told you try answer a bonus question, which was question number 6C. Let me show that to you. Question number 6C. Give scientific reasons is the question. It says all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. And I believe, and I'm right, I know that the information that we have gained so far, using that information, we can answer this question. All vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Why is this? In other words, we can also say all animals that belong to the subphylum Vertebrata also belong to the phylum Chordata. But all the animals that belong to the phylum Chordata, they may not belong to the subphylum Vertebrata. Why is that? The answer is very simple. It's a very simple question, and this type of question can be asked in many different places. Related to classification. What is happening in the classification? What are we doing when we are classifying different organisms? Reflect upon the classification. Reflect upon what vertebrates are, what chordates are, and then try answer this question. Why do we say that all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates? Think and answer. Suppose there is a school. That we are in. There is some school. Now, in that school, there is an English medium, there is a Hindi medium, there is a Marathi medium. We will not see what is happening in the Hindi medium, Marathi medium. Let's focus on English medium because we are in the English medium. So in the English medium, we will have the primary, and we will have the secondary section. Now the primary will have from Balwadi to class 1 to class 8, and the secondary will have class 9 and class 10. Now these things better, the classes, the primary secondary sections, the medians, the school, these are nothing but our classification hierarchies. You can think of school as the kingdom, animal kingdom, which is divided into 3 groups, which is further divided into many groups. So if we take the example of the 2 students from where noise was coming now, Bashir, Saif. Now Bashir and Saif are here. Now because they are part of class 10, they are also part of secondary. Because they are part of secondary, they are also part of English medium. Because they are part of English medium, they are also part of the school. Not just Saif and Bashir. Every student who is in class 10 is also a student of secondary, is also a student of English medium, is also a student of the school. But a student who is in class 8, that student does not belong to secondary, although that student belongs to primary. This is the situation we have now. When we look at chordata and vertebrata, that is what is happening. Something similar. Kya? We have the phylum chordata, which is divided into 3 subphylum. Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and vertebrata. Now, every organism that is part of vertebrata will be part of chordata. This is what classification is. This is what the hierarchy of classification is. Agar vertebrata hai, to chordata bhi hoga. But if we say that an organism is chordata, then not necessary that the organism will only be vertebrata. It can also be urochordata. It can also be cephalochordata. And that is why all vertebrates are chordates. That means all organisms that belong, all animals that belong to the subphylum vertebrata are also belonging to, they also belong to the phylum chordata. But all the organisms, all the animals that belong to the phylum chordata, they will not be part of the subphylum vertebrata. So simple. And scientific, this is the organization, and physically the evidence is all chordates will have notochords. So urochordata will have notochord, cephalochordata will have notochord, and vertebrata will also have notochord in some shape or form at some stage of their life. But only in the animals belonging to the subphylum vertebrata, the notochord would have changed, would have evolved into vertebrate or vertebral column. We will not have vertebral columns in cephalochordata and urochordata. इसी को देख के तो हमने क्लासिफाई किया है, and that is why all chordates will not be vertebrates. All vertebrates will be chordates. In general sense, what you have to understand is higher hierarchy and lower hierarchy. So all organisms that are part of the lower hierarchy will be part of the hierarchy. But all organisms which are part of the higher hierarchy will not be part of the lower hierarchy. Right? So this is the generic answer we need to know, because the question can be about any two levels of the hierarchy. This is what we need to understand. This is what we need to know about classification. This is what we are doing. This subphylum Vertebrata is divided into 6 different things. And now the things are called classes. Remember where we started? We started at kingdom. We divided the kingdom into phylum. Phylum is divided into subphylum. Subphylum is now divided into classes. Just like the example that I gave you now. School, medium, primary, secondary, class. Now the hierarchy that we are referring to is called a class. It is not called a phylum. So there are 6 classes of animals in subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. The first one, and whenever we study classification, we will go from top to bottom and we will go from left to right. So when we are moving from top to bottom, the complexity increases. When we go from left to right, then also the complexity increases. It just makes it easy to study. That is how things are arranged. The first class is Cyclostomata. Cyclostomata. Remember, the last thing that we studied about the subphylum Vertebrata is some of them have jaws and some of them do not have jaws. So these animals that belong to the class Cyclostomata, they do not have jaws. They have mouth, but they do not have jaws. Jaw matlab jabda. But so how do they eat then? They have suckers to suck. जैसे वैक्यूम क्लीनर काम करता है, जैसे हम जब दूध पीते हैं, we don't eat, we suck using our breathing. The skin is soft and without any scale, no exoskeleton. Paired appendages are absent. Now, what are these appendages? Who remembers the words appendages? We came across this word appendages when we studied the phylum Arthropoda. What are appendages? Parts or joints. Chand is saying, no, beta, they are not parts or joints. We can say they are like hands or legs. When the joints are called arthro. Okay? Appendages means something which is attached to the body, just like the hands and legs. These are not there in these animals. Endoskeleton is cartilaginous. There is a skeleton which is inside the body, but it's not bony. It is made up of cartilage. Cartilage is much softer than bones. Most of them are ectoparasites. They depend on others. And examples are pteromyzon, myxine. Pteromyzon and myxine. Look at the diagrams. Look at the pictures. See, they have eyes, they have gill slits, they have a long body, and they have suckers. So there is a mouth, but there is no jaw, no upper jaw, no lower jaw, just like a tube. And they suck whatever they need to eat inside their bodies. The second class, second of the 6 classes of the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata is called Pisces. Pisces. And we can remember this simply as fishes. F-I-S-H, machli. And now we are coming across another new phrase and term. It says they are cold-blooded aquatic animals. उनका खून जो होता है वो गर्म नहीं होता. Our bodies are warm. Our bodies are warm because our blood is warm. And blood Because it is being pumped by the heart to different parts of the body, the entire body remains warm. And cold-blooded animals, technically, they are called poikilotherms. Poikilotherms. The other type of animals are called homeotherms. These terms were there in previous grades. They're aquatic, both marine and freshwater. Body is spindle shaped. ये देखो मछली का बॉडी ऐसे फिर ऐसे. If you have seen a weaver means जुलाहा जो कपड़े बुनते हैं. एक उनके पास इक्विपमेंट होता है, वो इसको खट 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 आगे पीछे करते रहते हैं, फिर लेफ्ट से राइट, राइट से लेफ्ट एक चीज फेंकते रहते हैं, धागा. That is called a spindle. Also, अगर आप पतंग उड़ाए हैं तो आपको पता होगा जो पतंग जिस लकड़ी पे, जिस रॉड पे, पतंग नहीं, पतंग का धागा जिस लकड़ी या रॉड पे लगा रहता है, जब आप उस पे धागा लगाते हो, छोटा वाला, नॉट द बड़ा वाला जिसमें एकदम पुली रहता है, वो वाला नहीं. जब हम धागे को लपेटते हैं रॉड पे, then at the center it is bulging and at the ends it is not bulging. इसी शेप का रहता है ना, मछली के शेप का. It's called a spindle. They have paired or unpaired fins. अभी तक किसी का fin नहीं था, ये देखो fins, and you know they are used for swimming. Different names of the fins are given. Tail में होगा तो caudal fin, पेट के साइड में ventral fin, dorsal fin, other different names of it. They also have gill slits. They also have a mouth. They also have an eye, more than one eye. And just like अगर आप कभी बोट में बैठे हैं तो बोट में एक पीछे में एक रडर होता है, उसको लेफ्ट राइट करते हैं तो बोट भी लेफ्ट राइट जाता है. Similarly, the tail fin is used to navigate during while it is swimming. They have both skeletons, both exoskeleton and endoskeleton. मछली के बाहर भी स्केल्स होते हैं और मछली के अंदर तो कांटे होते हैं. So the exoskeleton is in the form of scales, we know. Endoskeleton is either cartilaginous or bony, दोनों तरह के होते हैं. And they don't breathe through their mouths, they breathe through their gill slits. यहाँ से. And there are special organs there. पानी लेकर जाते हैं वो अंदर. Oxygen is dissolved in the water. So they absorb the oxygen and the water is thrown out. Again, if you study biology later in college, you will study how that happens. And some examples are given. Rohu, pomfret, seahorse, shark, electric ray, sting, all fishes come under this. Pisces. And here I'm reminded of another fish, blue whale or whale. I said fish, but now I am asking you, is whale a fish? I'm sure ये आपने पहले कभी सुना होगा, पढ़ा होगा, किसी टीचर ने आपको बताया होगा. Are whales fishes or not? What are they? They definitely look like fishes. Prachi is saying, no, they are not fishes. Yes, they are mammals. Always remember this. Not everything that looks like a fish will be a fish. So the whales, which many of us, we think that it's a very, very huge fish, but it is not. It's a huge mammal that looks like a fish, lives like a fish. And we will understand why we call it a mammal, why it is being classified as mammal, not under the class Pisces. Now things start getting more and more complicated. the next class, the third of the 6 classes of the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. There it is called amphibia. Amphibia. Very interesting lives they have. When they are larvae, in their life stage, when they are larvae, they live in the water. They are aquatic. But when they grow into adults, they can live both in water and on land. So when they are in the stage of larva, they are only aquatic, but when they are adults, they are both aquatic and terrestrial. When they live, what is most important is for us to breathe. If we can't breathe, we cannot live. All the animals till Pisces, they can either live on land or they can live in water. And the reason is some of them can breathe only in water and some of them can breathe only outside water. But these animals of the class Amphibia, of the subphylum Vertebrata Craniata, of the phylum Chordata, of the kingdom Animal Kingdom, they are special. They can breathe both in water and outside of the water. All of us know these organisms. At least we know about the frog and the toad. Frogs are smaller. They have a smooth skin. Toads are bigger. They have rough skin. Frogs can jump much longer distances. Frogs are very slow. They can jump. They can also jump, but they don't jump as long as a frog can jump. They are heavier. They have 2 pairs of appendages. Very clear. 2 pairs of appendages. We are not calling them legs yet. Appendages. So 2 are in the front, forelimbs, and 2 are at the back, hind limbs. F-O-R-E, four माने आगे का, H-I-N-D, hind means पीछे का. Digits means fingers without claws. माने उनमें जो शेर और cats and dogs वाले जो नाखून होते हैं वो नहीं होता. Exoskeleton is not there. And the skin is usually kept moist. जैसे हमको भी पसीना आता है to keep our body cool. They also keep cool by keeping the skin moist. Something more is happening here. Not only they have eyes, they have something else which is called as a tympanum. Last year, अगर आपने sound ठीक से पढ़ा तो हमने पढ़ा था eardrum, tympanic membrane, which helps them hear, listen. So there is no external ear. जैसे हमारे कान होते हैं जो बाहर से दिखते हैं वैसे नहीं होते, but they have a tympanum which does the same function. Neck is absent. गला नहीं होता, head होता है, body होता है, trunk होता है, हाँ? But there is no distinguishing neck. बड़ी बड़ी आंखें होती हैं without eyelids. हमारी पलकें होती हैं, उनकी पलकें नहीं होती. Examples: frog, toad, salamander. Remember what I told you? All the names of the animals that we are coming across in this chapter. Use your devices, Google, find the pictures, know. When you see, you will understand much better. And while in the class, when you are studying, and I've stopped at every section, use that time to annotate in the textbook for the words that you are coming across for the first time. For example, here we have tympanum. What is tympanum? So maybe you can write in pencil, ear, E-A-R, ear. So we are already halfway through the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. We said that there are 6 classes under this subphylum. We have seen 3 of them, which are Cyclostomata, Pisces, and Amphibia. Next one, the fourth class, fourth of the 6 classes of the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. They are called Reptilia. Once again, you know these organisms. What is special about them is they are considered to be the first organisms that evolved to live on the land. Remember, in chapter number 1, we studied that life originated in water. So all the organisms that we studied till now, all the animals that we studied till now, aquatic mainly. These were the first organisms, animals that lived on land. These are also cold-blooded, poikilotherms. They creep means रेंगते हैं, क्योंकि उनके बॉडी को उठाया नहीं जा सकता. हम सीधे चलते हैं, वो नहीं कर सकते. Dry and scaly skin. Remember, for frogs, the amphibians, the skin is moist, and no scales. But for reptiles, the skin is dry and scaly. So many differences between amphibia and reptilia. Neck was not present in amphibia, but neck is present in reptilia. Naak, gala, dikhana chahiye tha diagram. Neck is there. Similarity, they also do not have external ear, लेकिन इनमें भी tympanum होता है. They also have appendages, 2 pairs. They also have digits, and now we are calling them legs. We are not calling them just appendages. We are calling them legs. They have digits, fingers हैं उनके, and they have claws. Example: tortoise, lizard, snake. Yes, the tortoise is also a reptile. Doesn't look like one. Lizard, of course. Snake, of course. One of the very common questions that student ask: where are the legs of the snake? Yes, they do have. They are not as big. They are not as prominent as the legs of lizards or tortoises, but they also have legs on their ventral side. बहुत छोटे होते हैं, and they don't use it that much. वो रेंगते हैं. This is the question I was asking. Animals like gharial and crocodile live in water as well as land. Are they amphibians or reptiles? They are reptiles because they creep, because they have scaly skins, and dry skins. That is why I think they are reptiles. Please check later whether I've given you the right information or not. Please check for yourself. Interesting questions. And these organisms, they are the connecting links. So in every classification, we will see some organisms which will share properties of 2 different classes, 2 different phyla. They are the connecting links, living connecting links, not extinct connecting links, living. Chand is asking, can they lift their head up? They can lift their head up, but they cannot lift their body up. No? They can do as much as a lizard can do. They can't do what a lion, tiger, or monkey or a human being can do. They have a head, they have a neck. I'm not giving you the full answer now. You think, you do some research, you'll find out the answer. I'm sure you can. कि क्यों वो reptile है या क्यों वो amphibian है. You'll find out. We are moving towards the end of the chapter. Last 2 groups of animals. Last 2 classes of the 6 classes of the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. The second last class The fifth class is called aves. Very simple way to remember this is they're birds. Spices, fishes, aves, birds. अब इसके बारे में हम क्या ही बताएं तुमको. They are completely adapted for aerial life. हवा में ही रह सकते हैं, उड़ते हैं. Not, they don't always keep flying. They rest. They rest on land. They rest on the tree. And there is a better term for them. They are called arboreal. Yes, they can fly, but they don't live in the air. Arboreal means at a height, not on the ground, at a height from the ground. Those who live in the trees, they are called arboreal. But yes, they are aerial. Now, for the first time, we have animals that are warm-blooded, homeotherms. That means they can maintain their body temperature. If the environment is too hot, they will sweat and they will make their bodies cool. If the environment is too cold, then their hearts will beat much more faster. They will breathe more so that more oxygen goes and more oxygen travels to the entire body and the body will be warmer. It will not become too cold. Their body is also spindle shaped. ये जो मछली और ये जो चिड़िया होती है, their body shape is spindle shaped so that when they are moving in the water or when they are moving in the air, they can do it efficiently. जैसे एरोप्लेन का डिजाइन एरोप्लेन के डिजाइन की तरह क्यों होता है? To make it easy for it to fly, to make it easy for it to move. Now, when we look at these birds, we think that they have only two limbs. दो ही पैर होते हैं, या दो ही हाथ होते हैं. ऐसा नहीं. They actually have four limbs. Four, F-O-U-R, four. Two forelimbs, माने दो आगे के, F-O-R-E, and two hind limbs. The forelimbs, we don't see them because they have transformed into wings. That is what makes them able to fly. They also have digits. They also have claws. They also have exoskeleton and endoskeleton. Endoskeleton is bony. Exoskeleton is made up of feathers. और किसी में feathers नहीं होते हैं. Only in the animals that are part of this class, aves. Of course, neck is present. And very important thing, उनके जो जबड़े होते हैं, now they are not called jaws. They have transformed into beaks. Evolution. Forelimbs have transformed into wings, and the jaws have transformed into beaks, chonch. And all the birds are part of this class. Peacock, parrot, pigeon, duck, penguin. Arey baba. Penguins are also birds. They can't fly. Exception. Ostrich cannot fly. Emu. Emu used to be a bird that's extinct now. It could not fly. Flightless birds. Penguin. So ostrich and penguins are still alive. We still have these animals on our planet. They are classified as birds, but they can't fly. Exceptions. Please make a note. And another organism which looks like a bird, that is a bat, but it's not a bird. It's a mammal. That is the last class of animals we will study. But before that, complete your annotations. The last group of animals which belong to the sixth class of the subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata. They are called the class Mammalia. Mammalia. And for some funny reason, the example that is given in the textbook is bats. This is a very non-typical example. This is an exceptional example. We'll come to that. What are mammals? They have mammary glands. These mammary glands are breasts, which are used to feed the young ones. That is why they are called mammals. Now, they are also warm-blooded. They also have a head, neck, and trunk. Also, they have a tail. We don't have a tail. Remember, rudimentary organ. We have a coccyx, but the tail is not visible. We lost the tail long time ago in evolution. Appendages are there, legs and hands are there, and they have digits. They are fingers, and fingers have nails, claws, or hooves. जैसे घोड़े की जो पैर के नीचे होता है ना, उसको हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं बेटा? नहीं, I don't remember. So hoof is a protective part of the legs. यहाँ पे जब when fingers are not there, then some two parts ऐसा कुछ दिखता होगा, ऐसे दो मोटा मोटा एकदम, गाय का भी होता है. They are hooves. Exoskeleton is in the form of hairs or fur. So from feather to our hair. So our hair is part of our exoskeleton. It protects us. Even the hair that we have in our ears and the hair we have in our noses, they protect us. They act as filters. They prevent harmful things getting inside our bodies. Examples, very wide variety of examples. Elephants are mammals. Human beings are mammals. Kangaroos are mammals. Dolphins are mammals. Ye dekho, not just whales. Dolphins are also mammals. And of course, bats. They are mammals. Okay. Another terminology maybe you should be aware of is oviparous and viviparous. Have you come across these words? Oviparous and viviparous. Oviparous are the animals which lay eggs. And viviparous are the animals that give birth to a baby, a young one. Now, till Aves, the new one is not born as a baby. Either there is larva or there is an egg. But for the animals that belong to the class Mammalia, they don't lay eggs. They give birth to babies. And a homework for you, a research question for you. Bats. They are mammals, but do they lay eggs or they give birth to the young ones? Do remember to try find the answer to this question. These are very interesting animals. I will list them again. Bats, dolphins, whales, penguins. They look like something, but they are something else. And Chand is already confirming they give birth to the young ones, not eggs. I really don't know, Chand. I'm not going to say anything about that. Do the research. We will come back to that. So that is the end of this chapter, the information that is there in the chapter. What we learned in this chapter is there is a wide variety of organisms and there are a wide variety of animals on this planet. Animals are fundamentally those organisms that cannot make their own food, that depend on other organisms for their nutrition. There are so many that it becomes difficult to study them, so we classify them. There is a hierarchy. And this classification has evolved. पहले हम सिर्फ देखते थे कि वो कहाँ रहते हैं, कैसे दिखते हैं, artificial classification. Then we started understanding what is happening inside their bodies. natural system of classification. Then we understood how they have evolved, classification based on evolution. When we took the right parts of all these classifications, when our understanding increased more and more, we came to the traditional method of classification, which is based on notochord, whether it is present or not. And this is how the traditional the animals are classified in the traditional way, in the conventional way. But this also changed later, and a new classification was provided, which is called the five kingdom classification by Robert Whittaker. One of the five kingdoms is animalia, in which all the organisms, all the multicellular animals are classified. So the only difference between this or the older kingdom Animalia and the new kingdom Animalia is this phylum Protozoa. Protozoa is not part of the new kingdom Animalia. Remember that. Everything else is there. Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. Then Chordata, and within Chordata we have Urochordata, Cephalochordata, Vertebrata. Within Vertebrata we have Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia. Small difference there. Protozoa. We then studied what criteria have been used to classify these animals in five kingdoms. How simple or complex their bodies are, whether there is symmetry in their bodies or not, and if there is symmetry, what kind of symmetry it is there, how many germ layers are there, 2 or 3, if body cavity is present or not, if it is present, from what does it develop from, eucoelomate, pseudocoelomate, acoelomate. Finally, is the body divided into similar segments? And using that, we classified the animals. We then looked at each of the phyla in detail. We understood that Porifera are neither diploblastic nor triploblastic because they have cellular grade of organization. We studied about Coelenterata, Cnidaria, which have special cells called what? Cnidoblasts, which have toxins. We studied about Platyhelminthes, they are flatworms. Aschelminthes, which are roundworms. Annelida, so very common examples are leeches, earthworms. Then we studied about this phylum Arthropoda, which is the largest phylum of animal kingdom. They have jointed legs. And here I had left you with a question in the last class about spider. Please remember that most of the organisms of the phylum Arthropoda are insects. But spider is not an insect. Spider is not part of, so under Arthropoda, there are multiple classifications. One of the classification is Insecta. All the insects are part of the group Insecta. But spider, which looks like an insect, and we will think that it is an insect, it is not an insect. It is an arachnid. It is part of a group which is called Arachnida. And the difference between spider and insects is insects have 6 legs, whereas spider has, do you know how many legs the spider has? All the spiders have, they don't have 6 legs. How many legs do they have? Very good, Prachi. 8 legs. So they are not insects, arachnids. Then we studied about mollusca, and we come across this very intelligent animal, is octopus, and very interesting organism, which are these bivalves, and we use them to make pearls. Then we studied about echinodermata, hemichordata. Finally, we came to chordata, where the complexity increased. We saw how the chordata phylum is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata or Craniata. Very few people use the word Craniata. Mostly, you will see Vertebrata. Craniata word will be missing in most of the books. And today we studied the subphylum Vertebrata in detail. So we studied about the class Cyclostomata, Pisces, that are fishes. We understood that dolphins and whales, although they look like fishes, they are not fishes, they are mammals. Amphibia, frogs, toads, and we discussed that although crocodiles, they look like amphibians, I believe they are reptiles. You will check and tell me. Then we studied about reptiles like lizards and snakes. Then these animals which can fly, apes, birds, in which their forelimbs are converted into wings and their jaws are converted into beaks. And finally, the class that we belong to, human beings, class Mammalia. And we have company. We have the company of elephants, kangaroos, dolphins, and bats, and many other animals, different types of. So much information, no mathematics, lot of understanding, huge number of words which are difficult to pronounce, and because we are studying them for the first time, we will find it difficult to remember also. So please, please, please keep writing, please completing your notes, keep answering the questions that are in the textbook and more, so that when there is exam or when you go to college, you know what you are talking about. If you see the picture of bat here, its wing is not called a wing, it is called a patagium. Each part of the wing is called a patagium. We have answered 1A, B, C, and D. From question number 2, we have answered bath sponge, grasshopper, which will be arthropoda, and jellyfish, which will be coelenterata. Now we can answer about rohu, which is a fish, so class Aves, penguin, which will be another not class Aves, class Pisces. I'm sorry, class Pisces. It's a fish, and penguin, which is a bird, so class Aves, frog, class Amphibia, lizard, class Reptilia, elephant, class Mammalia. So if we know the classification, we can write the characteristics. Understanding is more important. Question number 3, we have completed. Question number 4, we have completed. In question number 5, we have completed B and D. What remains to be answered are question number 5A and 5C. Now we can. It says, give scientific classification of shark up to class. Shark, भले ही आपने पास से नहीं देखा हो, but all of you know how does it look. What will you say in common language? What kind of animal is a shark? Is it a bird? Is it a reptile? It's a fish. Thank you, Chan. So if it is a fish, what class does it belong to? Pisces, correct. If it is belonging to the class Pisces, what subphylum does it belong to? Vertebrata, Chordata, Animalia. So when we are writing the classification, we will write from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. Kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, class Pisces. That is what needs to be written. And this is for shark. We should be able to write this for all the important animals, including human beings. Another type of question. Please confirm. Okay. Then C. Distinguish means differentiate, column between butterfly and bat with the help of 4 distinguishing properties. Butterfly and bat. This is just like writing the characteristics, but compare and contrast. Tell me, what classification does the butterfly belong to? What phylum does butterfly belong to? Arthropoda, correct. What classification does, what is this? Bat belong to? Mammalia, class Mammalia. Bus. So we will compare and contrast the characteristics. 5, A and C, you can write. Let's look at question number 6. In question number 6, we already had answered B and D, and in the morning when we started the session, we answered question number C. That leaves us with A and E. देखो क्या है A? Though tortoise lives on land as well as in water, it cannot be included in the class Amphibia. क्यों? Why it cannot be included in the class Amphibia? What is the necessary thing for something to be classified as amphibian? It is something to something related to सांसें. What is that? And that this is the reason why tortoise is classified as a reptile, not as a amphibian. What is it? What must happen if an organism, no, it's not that they take breath. Tortoises cannot breathe in water. They can breathe only on land. So when they go in the water, so either they are swimming by keeping their head out, their nostrils out, or when they go inside the water, if they go inside the water, they do what we do. We hold our breath. They also do the same thing. They cannot breathe under water. That is why they are not amphibia. Also, you will have to check about whether they are cold-blooded or warm-blooded. Check that, and they creep. I believe they are cold-blooded, but please do check. 5E. Body temperature of reptiles is not constant. क्यों नहीं है constant? Very interesting question. The answer is not given in the textbook. The answer is not discussed in the class. I have not told you anything. But if you research about homeotherms, poikilotherms, you will understand why the body temperature of reptiles is not constant. They are poikilotherms. They are not able to regulate their body temperature. So the simple answer to this question is they are poikilotherms. They cannot regulate their temperature. So the bodies become hot. If the surrounding is hot, the body becomes cold. If the surrounding becomes cold. But why does that happen? That's a much bigger thing. So for this class, for this year, we will leave it at they cannot regulate their body temperature. They become hot. If the surroundings are hot, they become cold. If the surroundings are cold. Confirm. Thank you. Question number 7, we have already answered A, B, and C. 4th one, D. Answer now. You know the answer. Bat is included in which class? Mammalia. So easy. So some questions will be factual and some questions will be thought-provoking. थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा. जैसे कि why tortoise is not an amphibian? Why lizards cannot regulate their body temperature? Different types of questions. Question number 8, we completed. Question number 9, now you can do. It is about vertebrata, so cyclostomata, then Pisces, all those 6 classes, their specific characteristics and example. You can do that. And I've already told you question number 10, No one is going to ask you to make these detailed diagrams of hydra, jellyfish, planaria and all that. But yes, question number 11 is possible, where diagram will be given and you will be asked to label it, right? So those who like drawing, please go ahead, draw. It will be good for you, you will be happy. Those who can't, those who don't want, it's okay, but understand the labeling, understand the body parts, remember, practice. That is it. That is chapter number 6, animal classification. Remember, you are still, there are still some unanswered questions. You will have to find out about them and share with me. And in the next science class, we will first spend some time to tie the loose ends of this chapter and then start with science 1. So after science 2, we will start with science 1.